Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Arnesia, and as you can tell by today's video title, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of working from home. So first and foremost, if you have not seen my last video about how to successfully work from home, go check that out first and then come back to this video. I'll have it linked on this video for y'all so that you can look at that one first. But I wanted to do this video because you're probably either working from home currently or you're interested in finding a work from home job. And why not talk about the pros and cons of working from home? So let's get right into the video. All right, so first we're going to talk about the pros of working from home. Number one is that obviously you're in the comfort of your own home. Now, I do want to say that working from home and being a remote worker can be kind of different because you don't always have to work from home. And I do want to specify that some companies do have restrictions on where you can work if you are a remote worker. But I do know some people who work remotely and they work from literally anywhere in the world. They could be working from a beach, they could be working from a co-working space, anything like that. But if you aren't working from home currently and you're interested in working from home, make sure you do your research on the company because for security reasons, and rightfully so, I feel like there are some guidelines on where you can actually work from home. Pro number two is that you're saving gas money, okay? Like gas is so expensive right now and driving to and from an office can add up, especially if you're in Texas and you have to get on a toll road. So saving gas money is definitely a pro of working from home because you don't have to get up and go anywhere unless you choose to work from like a co-working space or something like that. But if you're in the comfort of your home, you're saving money, period. So the next pro, and this comes with discipline, is that you eat healthier. So in my opinion, whenever you work from an office, it's so easy to go out to eat with your teammates, eat like junk food. Somebody brought in donuts one day. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, I've done that. But if you're working from home, you are the boss of your own diet and your own food. So it's so much easier to eat healthier because you're not tempted by other people's food and you don't have somebody bringing you donuts all of the time and you're not like, you know, I don't want to be the oddball in the office that's not eating, so let me go eat. You don't have to deal with that when you're working from home. So you can definitely have a healthier diet, especially if you meal prep. So that's one thing you need to do is meal prep and think of like fun recipes that you can make and stick with that because honestly, it's still easy to eat out when you're working from home because you don't feel like cooking. But if you meal prep, it makes things so much easier. All right, so the next pro is my favorite, honestly, is that you don't have to dress office appropriate. Again, this is just my own personal experience. If you end up working for a company, they may require you to be like business casual or even business professional on camera, which I don't know, maybe if you're like an executive or something like that, they may have that requirement, but my experiences, it has been very laid back. Obviously, you can't show up on a Zoom call with your bonnet and like literally pajamas, but it is very chill as far as the attire, which I definitely love because when I did work in the office, I kind of enjoyed putting the outfits together as far as like, you know, the corporate outfits and stuff like that, but it does get old and that's another thing that you're spending money on is office clothes that you are only wearing to work. You may like wear it to church or something like that, but yeah, you're definitely saving money on clothes if you're working from home. All right, so everybody knows the fake corporate laugh. Like you have been on a meeting or you've been in someone's face who makes like a corny joke and like you're just like, well, if you're working from home, you don't have to do that all day long. You still might have to do it like on a Zoom call or something like that, but you don't have to do it in person, which is amazing because sometimes it really is not funny and you just have to like chuckle a little bit and like that's so And to kind of piggyback off of that, your coworkers are not walking up to your desk. So if you're working from home, you know, you might have like Slack or Teams or some type of instant messenger, but you don't have people literally walking up to your desk with their problems. So something that I really like is that, yeah, I still have people coming to me every day with like maybe an issue or something like that, but I actually have time to like decompress and I don't have to respond instantly, versus if someone was just like in my face with their problem, it's like putting you on the spot. So that's definitely a pro of working from home, is that you can take time to really decompress whatever someone's bringing to your face. All right, so the next pro definitely depends on how you have your work-life balance and your workspace set up. But a pro of working from home is that there are so many less distractions. Working in the office, I feel like it's just so much going on. Like, they may have like a party, they may like have just a random team outing, like everybody maybe talking in the background. Like, it's so hard to focus in the office. I don't want to say like generally, but in my experiences, it has been harder to focus in the office versus at home. So there are tons of less distractions when you're working from home if you do it right. So I only have 2 more pros, and honestly, I'm sure there are tons of other pros of working from home, but I want to keep this video a little bit short and sweet. So the next pro is that you can customize your space. In my last video, I talked about how it's very important to have your own workspace if you're working from home, and something that I really enjoyed was decorating my home office. So that can get kind of expensive, especially if your company doesn't reimburse you for some equipment items. But again, you are in full control of how you want your workspace to look. So that is a pro of working from home. The last pro is privacy. So this is huge. You know, when you're in the office, it just feels like you always have someone looking at you. Like, you may want to listen to a podcast while you're working, or listen to music, or even watch like a TV show, or just have it playing in the background or something like that. You may be listening to my video right now and you're working from home. But like, if you're in the office, it just feels weird to do that, and that may help you work and it may make you more productive. But if you're working from home, you don't have your coworkers or your boss or anybody like that who's just like looking at you and wondering if you're actually working, because you may have like Real Housewives of Potomac in the background or my video playing. So privacy is definitely a pro of working from home. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the cons of working from home. Again, this is just based on my personal experience and my opinion. So some people may not agree, some people may not have had this experience, but I am interested to know if I'm kind of on target as far as my opinion and my pros and cons. And if you have some more, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But the first con that I wanted to talk about is kind of the customization side of your workspace that I was talking about. So some companies do not provide you with equipment or even reimburse you for equipment. So it can get very expensive. So for example, I have a work laptop and then I also have a monitor, because the type of work that I do, I cannot just work off of the laptop all of the time. I definitely need a bigger monitor, and it also helps like when you're doing presentations and things like that. And if your company doesn't provide that equipment to you, it can get very expensive. I do have my monitor that I use linked in my Amazon storefront. So if you're looking for something, check out the description box below, because I really do enjoy it. It is pretty big, but for my type of work, it's amazing. The next con is that it is very easy to overwork when you're working from home. And I touched on this in my last video as well, but working is so accessible when you are working from home. Like, literally my laptop, my work laptop is right there, like right there. And also, if you're working from home, you may have your emails or Slack even on your phone, and it's just so quick to respond to someone because it kind of feels like a text message. But if you're not on the clock, why are you responding? You're still working. So it is very easy to overwork when you are working from home, because it's like, oh, let me just like do the dishes really quick and then I'll just quickly send out this email. Oh, let me cook really quick and then I can send out this email. No, you're done. After your work hours are up, you're done. So the next con, again, not sure if this is everyone's experience, but the con of working from home is that it is more likely that you are going to be micromanaged. So working from home is still new, I feel like, and there are some generations who feel as though working from home is not productive and people that work from home aren't actually working. So if that is your manager's mindset, you may experience some micromanaging because they aren't able to look over their shoulder and see you actually working at your desk. It's more so like a honor system, I feel like. But if you do what you're asked to do, if you turn in your work on time, you should be good. But just know that depending on your manager, depending on the company and their culture, you may experience some micromanaging because you are working from home. Now, this is a con, and it's kind of 50-50 for me because I'm not all that social and sometimes I don't feel like talking. But when you're working from home, there is no human interaction except over Zoom. So this can be kind of like lonely at times because you don't get to like laugh and joke all of the time face to face with your coworkers. And sometimes your work friends are needed. Like work friends understand the faces that you may make in your meetings and things like that, and you can joke about certain things. But when you're working from home, it is kind of hard to make those connections with people because you may have never met them in person and you might not ever get to meet them in person. So that's one thing. If you're very extroverted and things like that, you may not enjoy working from home as much. The next con that I have is that working from home easily blends with your personal life, especially if your workspace is in your home. So again, how I was saying, it's easy to overwork. It's also easy for your work to blend in with your personal life. Just how I said, if you're cooking and then you just like stop and go send an email and it's like 8 p.m., that's blending in with your personal life. And then also, if you are on vacation because you're working from home, you have like a laptop. What if you take that laptop on vacation with you? Like, why are you doing that? You are blending your work life with your personal life, and that's not cool. The last con that I have is that when you're working from home, boundaries are very tough to set. So you may be a person who is just like the king or queen of boundary setting, but if you're not like me, it does take a lot of time to create and enforce your boundaries, especially when you're working from home, because some people think that because you're working from home, it means that you're always available, which is not the case. It needs to have the same standards as you being in the office. Like whenever you're driving home from the office, people know that you're driving home from the office because they just saw you walk out of the office. So why is it that after 6 you're expecting me to work just because I'm working from home? You have to set those boundaries and really enforce those boundaries. You need to be professional about those boundaries and articulating that. But it is very tough to do that when you are working from home. So those are all of the pros and cons that I have of working from home for today's video. Like I said, if you have more pros and cons or maybe even questions about working from home, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any other video ideas as far as working from home, also leave those in the comments below, and make sure that you like and subscribe to this video. It was so nice talking with y'all today, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next week.